Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss the chapter tissues of class 9. So, first we want to understand the basics of tissues. So, what is a tissue? So, already we have studied the fundamental unit of life. So, in that chapter, we already discussed about the cells and what is the function of cells, how a cell, a plant cell, and animal cells are different. So, in this chapter, we are going to discuss about the tissues. So, what is a tissue? Tissues are group of cells that have a similar structure and act together to perform a specific function. So tissues are a group of cells that have a specific function, and this group of cells are similar in structure. They are similar in structure and they perform a specific function. Okay, so this is a cell. This is a cell which a group of cells together, that means it is a group of cells which is similar in structure and they do a specific function. That means cell, group of cells, they are group of cells. So this one we call this as a tissue, and they are this tissue, so many tissues then will become a organ. This is an organ. This organ will do a specific function. Okay, so this is a group of cells that have a similar structure and act together to perform a specific function. Then we are going to study the difference between the tissues. That means all plants and animals are made of same types of tissues. So we know that the plants and animals are made up of tissues. Why? Because they have cells, they have the similar cells which have the specific function. So similar structured cells which is having the specific function. So the plants and animals have tissues. Now we are going to compare the differences in in the tissues of plants and animals. So in the plants, these tissues are stationary or fixed. Then the growth is in a limited region. But in the animals, they are not stationary. They can move, and the growth is in every part. Okay, so in the plants, the growth is in a limited region, but there the growth is every part. Then in the plants there is no need of using so much energy. Why? Because they are not moving, so they are stationary, and for them only less energy is needed. But human beings or animals use, or they need a large amount of energy. Why? Because they are moving. Then most of the tissues of the plants are dead, while most of the tissues are alive in animals. So we know that in plants, when we are seeing the barks and all, in trees we are seeing barks, it is a dead tissue or dead cell. So these are the difference between plant tissue and animal tissue. So we can understand that there is so many differences between the tissues. So there is a different classification for plant and animal tissue. That means the tissues are two types. This is plant tissue and animal tissue. So there are two types of tissues. One is plant tissue and next one is animal tissue. Okay, and now we are going to study about the plant tissue. So plant tissue is again subdivided into two: meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. So meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. So what is meristematic tissue? Meristematic tissues are those tissues, they are simple living tissues which capable of division. So they are dividing. The meristematic tissue means they used to divide. This meristematic tissue will be regenerating new tissues or new cells. So these are simple living tissues which capable of division and formation of new cells present in the growing region of the plants. So they are growing or they are regenerating or they are producing new tissues. Means what we have to understand, if a plant is having a tissue which is regenerating, means then only the plant will be growing. So it is present at the division and means it is present at the growing tip region of the plants. Example, roots, growing branches, etc. So these meristematic tissues which do the performing which do the function of the growth is present at the growing tips of the growing regions of the plant. Okay, so this meristematic tissues is again divided into three: apical meristem, intercalary meristem, and lateral meristem. Okay, so now we are going to study about the different types of plant tissues, that is apical sorry, not plant tissues, above already we studied plant tissues is divided into meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. So now we are going to study about the meristematic tissue, that is they are divided into apical meristem, intercalary meristem and lateral meristem. So what is meristematic tissue? Those tissues which have the ability to divide is called meristematic tissues. Okay, so now we are going to study about the meristematic tissue, different types of meristematic tissue. First one is apical meristem. So what is apical meristem? It is present at the growing tips of the stems and root. Okay, look, this one is growing tip of the stem and root is also downside. That one is not in this slide. Okay, so apical meristem is, it is present at the growing tips of the stems and root. This tissue leads to elongation of the stems and root. So due to this apical meristem only, the plant will be getting elongated. You know, the plants will be growing due to this apical meristem only, they are elongating. Okay, so this tissue links to elongation of stems and roots. This evolved in primary growth of the plants. So this apical meristem is evolved, or it is involving in the primary growth of the plants. So this is an important point. Apical meristem is involving or evolved in the primary growth of plants. Then next one is intercalary meristem. So I already told this is apical meristem. The next one is intercalary meristem. So it is present at the internodes. Internodes means it is the gap between the nodes. So what is a node? This point and this point, this point, these are the nodes. Okay, so these points are the nodes. So this gap, that means this white portion, is called as internode. So it helps in the elongation of this longitudinal growth of these internodes. So once this apical meristem is left behind, that means first initially at the tip of the plant stem or root, it is having apical meristem. Then it is left behind and it becomes intercalary meristem, and it is present at the internodes. It is a part of apical meristem which is left behind during the growth. What is the function of intercalary meristem? It helps in the longitudinal growth of the plant. So look, this is the intercalary meristem. Look, these lines, this brown line, this is the intercalary meristem. So it is helping the plant to grow longitudinal. Okay, so this is the function of intercalary meristem. Next one is lateral meristem. So first when we study apical meristem, then intercalary meristem, it is present, it will be elongating, it will be helping the longitudinal growth. Now we are going to discuss about the lateral meristem. So what is lateral meristem? It occurs along the side of the longitudinal axis of the plant. It gives rise to vascular tissues. Sorry, one point is mistaken. This one is not intercalary meristem. Intercalary meristem means it will be present here. It is also like apical meristem only. It is helping elongational growth. Okay, then lateral meristem is this one. Lateral meristem is present parallelly, or it will help in the thickness of the plant. So this is lateral meristem. It occurs along the side of the longitudinal axis of the plant. It gives rise to vascular tissues. What is vascular tissues? It helps for the transfer of this water, the transfer of this water or minerals, xylem and phloem. Then it causes growth in the girth of stems and roots. So this lateral meristem helps the plants for the thickness of the plant. The girth and all, it is increased with the help of this lateral meristem. Okay, then this is responsible for the secondary growth. What is secondary growth? Not elongation, but the thickness will be increasing. That is a secondary growth. Okay, so meristematic plant tissues are divided into two types: meristematic tissues and permanent tissues. So meristematic tissues are the tissues which have the ability to divide, while the permanent tissues are not having the ability to divide. So this meristematic tissues is divided into three: apical meristem, intercalary meristem and lateral meristem. So apical meristem is present at the tip, intercalary meristem is present at the internodes, and lateral meristem is present at the longitudinal axis of the plant. So apical meristem will increase the plant height, Then intercalary meristem will elongate this longitudinal growth. Then lateral meristem will be helping to thickness of the plant, increase the thickness of the plant. Then next one is permanent tissue. So permanent tissue is the tissue which is not having the ability to divide. So it is composed of those cells which have lost their capability to divide. They have definite shape, size and thickness. It may be dead or living. So the permanent tissues can be either dead or living. So how is this permanent tissue formed? When these meristematic tissues which were having the ability to divide once lost this ability, that means first it was a meristematic tissue, then after so many division it will be losing that capacity to divide, then it will be converted to permanent tissue. Okay, so this permanent tissue is not having the ability to divide. This permanent tissue is having definite shape, they have definite size and they have definite thickness. That means it will not increase the size. Then again the permanent tissue is divided into two types: simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue. This simple permanent tissue is again subdivided into that means what is a simple permanent tissue is either for the protective function, it is either acting as a protective tissue or it is either acting as a supporting tissue. Okay, then simple permanent tissue, they are made up of same type of cells which have the similar in function, also in similar in structure, also in function. So simple permanent tissue means simple. Simple means what is meaning simple? It is simple, that means this group of cells are same in structure. So they are same types of cells, they are only same types of cells in structure, also in function. So example is given: protective tissues consist of epidermis, core, phloem. Then supporting tissues are either parenchyma, columnar or sclerenchyma. So these are the different types of simple permanent tissues. Now we are going to study detailedly about this epidermis, core, phloem, parenchyma, columnar, sclerenchyma. So first one is epidermis. Epidermis is the outermost layer of the plant. So in the leaf and every cell, outermost of the cell, it is covered with epidermis, and it is covered by a cutile, a waterproof level. That means you have seen the structures like this. That means if you are putting water, it will be acting like as a water repellent. So it is cutile. So this epidermis is covered by cutile. Then epidermis is having spores which is called as stomata, that we know already, we have studied in lower classes. These spores are called stomata. These are enclosed by two kidney shaped cells called God cells. So in the stomata, actually the closing and opening of the stomata is done with the help of two guard cells, two kidney shaped guard cells. They will be like this, kidney shaped guard cells. So it will be closing and it will be opening. So if it is opening means the transpiration will be done. Okay, so this is the function of guard cell. Then what is the function of epidermis? Look, this is the stomata and this is the guard cell. So the function of epidermis, it protects the plant from disease and infection. So if it is actually for the protection, if something is happening, then it should be protected. So epidermis does this role. Then cutile cuts the rate of transpiration, evaporation of water. So in the leaf, cutile, a coating is present in the epidermis which will prevent this transpiration and evaporation of water. Stomata allow gaseous exchange during photosynthesis. So the pores present in the leaf, which is called as stomata, allows the gaseous exchange during photosynthesis. Then stomata also helps in transpiration. So these are the important uses or functions of epidermis. That means epidermis is mainly for the protection, and it will be the cutile which is present in the epidermis, it will be decreasing the transpiration, and the stomata which is present in the epidermis will be helping for photosynthesis and also for transpiration. The next one is, next protective tissue is core phloem. It is made up of dead cells with thick walls and do not have intercellular spaces. So it is dead cell and it is not having intercellular spaces. It is very thick in appearance. Then cell wall in cork deposit waxy substance called suberin. the cell wall is impermeable and do not have any protoplasm. So they are present in the outside of the trees usually. So the cork deposit waxy substance. The cork of the phloem means the cork will be depositing suberin. It's a waxy substance. The cell wall is impermeable and it do not have any protoplasm. So what is the function of this cork or phloem? It prevents plants from infection or mechanical injury. It is shock absorber, insulator for plants, provide toughness to plants. So what are the functions of this cork or phloem? So you know that it is producing some waxy substance, so it will be preventing infection. If some bacteria is coming, means the waxy substance is released, so it is harmful for the bacteria or virus something, so it is helping the plants. Then it is a shock absorber or insulator so it is present outside, so it will be heat repellent, so it will be helping the plants to withstand the climate, provide toughness to the plants. So it is strong also, so it provides toughness to the plants, so the plants will be acting as trees will be acting as strong. Then cork used in making of sports good like cricket ball, table tennis, wooden pedals. So these are the function and uses of this cork or phloem. They are hard in substance and they are providing toughness to the plants, so they are shock absorber to the plants and they prevent also from the infection. And they are using for the cricket or sports. Then now we are going to study about the supporting tissues. So supporting tissues, we already studied about the protective tissues. So what are the protective tissues? Epidermis and cork or phloem. So these are the protective tissues. Now we are going to study about the supporting tissue. So what are support? These tissues are supportive in function. These tissues are three types: parenchyma, columnar, and sclerenchyma. So these are the three supporting tissues. Okay. So first one is parenchyma. So what is parenchyma? It's a first supporting tissue. So we can just look at the structure. Parenchyma, it's a thin walled cell composed of living cells. It is oval in shape and it is spherical also. Oval and spherical in structure. It have a large central vacuoles found in leaves, bits of stems and roots. So parenchyma is a simple tissue which is having central vacuoles and it is found in the leaves, stems and roots. So parenchyma is present in leaves, stems and roots. Okay, so what is the function of this parenchyma? This parenchyma stores food in large vacuoles. The parenchyma is storing the food because they have the large vacuole here, so they will be storing the food. This vacuole or this space provide turgidity to the cells and they perform photosynthesis, would repair new growth, and buoyancy control in aquatic plants. So they have a large air cavity space which prevents or which provide them buoyancy. That means it can be floating in water. In aquatic plants and all, it is floating due to this parenchyma only. It is thin walled cell composed of living cells, oval and spherical in structure. This one is important. It have large central vacuoles. Then found in leaves. This parenchyma is found in leaves, bits of stems and roots. Okay. The next supporting tissue is columnar. So it is found filler tissue. It is in soft parts of the plant. It is present in cortex with primary stems and it is found below the epidermis. Cells of the tissues are living, walls thickened at the corners. So this one means it is not thin walled, the walls are thickened. Walls are thickened at the corners. Look, the walls are thickened at the corners and they are present just below the epidermis. It's acting as a filler tissue in soft plants. Then it's present mainly in primary stems and roots. Okay, so what is the function of this columnar? They provide flexibility to plant parts. Mainly they provide flexibility to plant parts. They also provide mechanical support, then filling the vacant place. So if there is any vacant place means it will be getting filled with this columnar. Okay, so this is the second supporting tissue. Then next one is sclerenchyma. So sclerenchyma is the third supporting tissue. So it is a strengthening tissue similar to the columnar. It is also, the function is mechanical support. So okay, that one is not mechanical support, but it is acting as a strength tissue composed of extremely thick wall cell wall made up of lignin. So the cell wall is made up of lignin and they are extremely thick walled cell. Then one more important thing, its cells are dead. Sclerenchyma cells are dead. Then it is present in stems, around vascular bundles in the veins of the limbs, and hard covering seeds and nuts. So you can imagine dead tissue. What is dead tissue? It is not living. So it is present in stems, around vascular bundles. So if a plant part which is dead means it is sclerenchyma only. Okay, it is hard. It provides strength to the parts. The function is only one function. It provides strength to the plant parts. So what is the difference between parenchyma, columnar, and sclerenchyma? So the function are different. This one you just make a table and study. So simple permanent tissue is a tissue which is having similar structure. Now we are going to study about the permanent tissue, not permanent, complex tissue. That means we already studied permanent tissue is simple and complex. Simple means only one type of cells, one type of tissues. Now we are going to study about the complex permanent tissue. It consists of more than one type of cells. It consists of more than one type of cells which work together as a unit. So it is known as conducting or vascular tissue. It is also known as conducting or vascular tissue. It helps in transporting of organic material, water and minerals up. So it is a conducting vascular tissue. It helps in transporting of organic. That means simple permanent tissue you are okay now. Okay, now next one is complex permanent tissue. This complex permanent tissue is not made with a single type of cell. So here is a group of cells. That group of cells is xylem and phloem. So this together to form complex permanent tissue. So xylem is one type of tissue, phloem is another type of tissue. This xylem is actually again divided into its subdivisions. Okay, so what is complex permanent tissue? It consists more than one type of cells. Then it will be working as a unit only. It will be working together as a unit. So we already know tissue means group of cells which perform similar function. So here group of cells, that means two types of cells. More than one type of cell in complex permanent tissue, it is having more than one type of cells and they perform one function. So it is also called as vascular tissue. Then we can look what is xylem and what is phloem. So complex permanent tissue, first one is xylem. Xylem is a vascular tissue in plants which transport water and dissolve nutrients upward from the roots. So xylem is for the conduction. So we know that the plants will be absorbing water and minerals. So the xylem are the tissue which will be transporting this water or minerals from the ground to the photosynthesis area. That means to the leaf. So they are upward. Their transportation of nutrients takes place in upward from the roots. So this xylem consists of four types of cells: xylem tracheids, xylem vessels, xylem parenchyma, xylem sclerenchyma. So these are the subdivisions, or these are the four types of cells present in xylem. So xylem is having tracheids, which is elongated, angular, dead cells involved in conduction of water. So it will be tracheids is elongated. It is elongated in nature. So what happens is it will be helping the water transportation upward easily. Okay. Then next one is vessels. First one is tracheids. Second one is vessels. They are cylindrical like structure. One and they are placed one above the other to form the channel for the conduction of water. Look, this one is vessels. So this one is vessels and the elongated one is tracheids. Then next one is xylem parenchyma. Thick cells used for storage of food. So the xylem also helps in the storage of food. Xylem parenchyma. Okay. sorry, the spelling is a mistake, it's a PA, parenchyma. The next one is xylem sclerenchyma. Sclerenchyma, it's a non-living fibers with thick walls and narrow cavities provide mechanical support. So it not only for the conduction, xylem parenchyma will be storing food and xylem sclerenchyma will be providing mechanical support. So these are the function of xylem, or these are the different types of cells present in xylem. Xylem trachea, xylem vessel, xylem parenchyma and xylem sclerenchyma. Okay. Then next one is phloem. So phloem is another vascular tissue in plants which conducts food or sugars and other metabolic products upwards and downwards from the leaves. So phloem, xylem means it will be taking water and minerals from the ground to the leaves. Then from there the photosynthesis will be done and the food or the sugar is transported to the all parts of the plant. This transportation is done with the help of phloem. So the phloem is again, phloem is it will be transporting the food. So phloem is also divided into four: sieve tubes, companion cells, phloem fibers and phloem parenchyma. Okay. So what is the function of sieve tubes? Sieve tubes, it transport organic compounds or sugars made from photosynthesis. So sieve tubes are the tubes which is transporting this sugar. Then companion cells, they regulate the activity of sugar in sieve tubes. Companion cells will be regulating the activity of sugar in sieve tubes. Then phloem fibers provide mechanical support. Then phloem parenchyma, it stores food. So fibers and parenchyma is similar in function to that of this one xylem. One is for mechanical support, another one is storage. Okay, the next one is, now we studied about these plant tissues. That means tissues is divided into plant tissue and animal tissue. So meristematic tissues and permanent tissue. The classification of plant tissue is meristematic and permanent. In meristematic tissues, it is again subdivided into apical, intercalary, lateral. Apical means at the tip where the division takes place, or cell division takes place. The intercalary means it will be elongating the plants. Lateral meristem means it will be increasing the width of the plant. Then permanent tissue, it is again divided into simple permanent and complex permanent. Simple permanent means the cells will be in one, means only in one type of cells are there, structure will be one type. And complex means more than one type of cells will be present. Simple permanent tissue is divided into two, means based upon the function they are again classified. So if it is a protective function, it is divided into epidermis and cork. Then if it is for the supportive function, it is parenchyma, columnar and sclerenchyma. Epidermis is present at the outer covering of the plant or leaves. Cork also is present like that. Then epidermis is having one cuticle, it will be water repellent, it is protecting the transpiration and all. Cork means it is actually hard in nature, and it also provides some gum like substance that is also protecting. Parenchyma, columnar and sclerenchyma we also discussed. And xylem and phloem also helps in the conduction of this water or food. So again xylem is divided into four and phloem is also divided into four. So these are the classification of plant tissues. Next we are going to discuss about the animal tissues. Okay. So animal tissues is subdivided into four: epithelial, connective, muscular and nervous. So these are the major four animal tissues. Okay. So first one is epithelial tissue. Epithelium or epithelial tissue, it consists of large layer of cells. Blood vessels are absent, it covers all the organs. So epithelial tissue covers all the organs. The skin, the lining of the mouth, the lining of blood vessels, kidney tubes, etc. are made up of this epithelial tissue. So epithelial tissue means it covers all the organs. All the organs is covered by epithelial tissue. So it is divided into squamous epithelium, cuboidal epithelium, columnar epithelium and stratified squamous. So first one is squamous epithelium. In squamous epithelium, cells arrange end to end like tiles. Look, the cells are arranging end to end like tiles on the floor. It forms lining of the cavities. It is present in mouth, esophagus, nose, alveoli, etc. Lining of the cavities of mouth, esophagus, nose, alveolar. These are the portions, these are the areas where this squamous epithelium is present. Then it also forms blood vessels covering of tongue and skin. So this squamous epithelium is present in the cavities of mouth, esophagus, etc. And not only that, it forms in blood vessels covering of tongue and skin. Then epithelial cells are arranged in many layers to prevent water and tear in skin. Okay, so these are the areas where this squamous epithelium is present. Next one is cubical epithelium. Cubical epithelium, the cells of these tissues are cube in shape. That one is flattened. The first one, squamous epithelium, is flattened like a tile, and this one is like a cube. It is found in kidney, thyroid vesicles, and in glands. So kidney, it is present. Thyroid vesicles, it is present in salivary, sweat glands, etc. It is present in glands. So cubical epithelium is present in glands. It provides mechanical support. So the function of this cubical epithelium is to providing mechanical support. It provides germinal epithelium like testes and ovaries. It forms germinal epithelium like testes and ovaries. Okay, so it provides mechanical support, and not only that, it provides germinal epithelium. It forms germinal epithelium like testes and ovaries. The next one is columnar epithelium. So it is more thicker than the cubical epithelium. So it is pillar like structure. It forms a lining of the stomach. So the lining of the stomach is columnar epithelium. The lining of the stomach is columnar epithelium. It also forms small intestine. It is also found in small intestine and large intestine. It has threads on its surface which helps in the absorption. So it is villi, means we know that if small intestine is having villi, so a columnar epithelium is made up of this. The small intestine is made up of columnar epithelium which is having villi on it. Okay, small intestine. Then last one is stratified squamous epithelium. It consists of squamous epithelium arranged in layers. So squamous epithelium means it's a tile-like thing. It is arranged like so many layers. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this squamous epithelium arranged like in layers, then it forms stratified squamous epithelium. The function is it is present in uterine, esophagus, etc. Okay. So these are the 4 types of epithelial tissues. Then next one is connective tissue. The cells of the connective tissues are wide spaced. The basic function is to provide support and connect different organs. So the connective tissue is the tissue which is the function is to connect different organs. So there are 4 types of connective tissues. So aerolar connective tissue, adipose connective tissue, skeletal connective tissue, and fluid connective tissue. So first one is aerolar. Aerolar tissue, this tissue fills space inside organs and it is found between the skin and muscles. So a tissue which is present between the skin and the muscles. So that tissue is called as aerolar tissue. That tissue is present between the skin and muscles. And it is around blood vessels. Not only that, they are also present in the bone marrow. So aerolar tissue. Okay, the next one is adipose tissue. It is found below the skin and around the heart, brain, and below eyeballs. So it is present below the skin and around the heart and below the eyeballs. Then it is acting, this adipose tissue is acting as an insulator, and it helps to prevent the loss of heat from the body. So it is adipose tissue will be storing the heat and it will be helping the heat to not escape from the body. Okay, so this is a function of adipose tissue. The next one is skeletal tissue. Skeletal tissue means it is divided into bone, ligaments, tendons, cartilage. So bone means it forms the frameworks of the body. Then it is non-flexible, it is hard. Then the bone is made up of calcium and phosphorus compounds. Then next one is ligaments. Ligaments, 2 bones connected to each other by a ligament. So ligament is a substance which is present between the 2 bones. Don't forget, ligament is a substance which is present between the 2 bones, or the ligament is connecting the 2 bones. Next one is tendons. The tendons connect muscles to bones. The tendons connect muscles to bones. It is fibrous with great strength and limited flexibility. So these tendons are fibrous in nature, and it is having great strength and limited flexibility. The flexibility is not there that much for the tendons. Then next one is cartilage. Cartilage is elastic. It is less harder to other bones. That means it's a smooth bone. It is composed of proteins and sugar. It is composed of proteins and sugar. It is present in nose, ear, larynx. So bone is made up of calcium and phosphorus, while the cartilage is made up of protein and sugars. Okay. So these are the different types of connective tissue. Then next one is fluid tissue, fluid or vascular tissue. So we know that blood is a fluid tissue. Blood helps in the transportation of many substances like gas, hormones, etc. We know oxygen, carbon dioxide transport in blood, hormones are released in blood, waste are transported in blood. So blood has a fluid matrix called plasma, in which RBCs, WBCs, platelets are suspended. So blood in plasma, this WBC, RBC, platelets are mixed or suspended. It also contains protein, salts and hormones. So what is RBC, what is WBC, and what is platelet? RBC, it contains red colored respiratory pigment, hemoglobin. It helps in the transportation of oxygen. So hemoglobin, RBC is having hemoglobin, it helps in the transportation of oxygen. WBC protects our body from harmful bacteria, and platelets are involved in clotting of the blood. So these are the functions of RBC, WBC and platelets. Then next one is muscular tissue. So muscular tissue, so we already discussed then fluid tissue also. Then now last one is muscular tissue. The movement happen in our body by the help of muscular tissue. So they are capable of contraction, relaxation. We know that muscles are the substance which allow us for the movement. So this movement in our body is helped with the help of muscular tissue. So this is divided into striated, smooth and cardiac muscles. So muscular tissue is divided into striated muscles, smooth muscles and cardiac muscles. So first one is striated muscles. These muscles are attached to the skeleton by tendons. What is tendon? Connect muscle to bone. They are voluntary. These striated muscles are voluntary. These muscles get tired and need rest. These muscles need rest. Cells of this are multinucleated. So they are multinucleated. Look, one cell is having different nucleus, main nucleus. And unbranched. They are unbranched. No, there is no branches in the cell. It contains special protein called contractile protein, which contract and relax to cause movement. So due to this contractile protein only, it will be contracting and relaxing. Okay, so then only it will be causing movement. The next one is smooth muscles. These muscles are involuntary. Smooth muscles are involuntary. They are uninucleated and spindle shape. They are spindle shape. This is a spindle shape. Spindle shape. Okay. Then they are found in the walls of the stomach, intestine, bronchi, iris of the eye, etc. So smooth muscles are present in stomach, intestine, etc. And it is uninucleated and it is spindle shaped. Okay, don't forget about the structure of smooth muscles. Then last one is cardiac muscles. We know heart is made up of cardiac muscles. It is also involuntary muscle. Then we cannot control. What is involuntary? Involuntary muscles means we can control the movement. Involuntary means those muscles we cannot control. Cardiac muscle, you just imagine, you can stop the beating of the heart, or you can control the heart beating, or cardiac muscle. No, only found in the walls of the heart. Cardiac muscles are only found in the heart. These are uninucleated and branched. They have branch. Look, they are branched. In these muscles, rhythm of contraction relaxation occurs throughout the life. That means if it is living, the cell is living, means it will be rhythmically, it will be contracting and relaxing. That's how the heartbeat is occurring. Then last one is nervous tissue. So cardiac muscles also we discussed. Then last one is nervous tissue. Cells of the nervous tissues are highly specialized for being stimulated and then transmitting to stimulus. very rapidly from place to another. The brain, the spinal cord, the nerves are all composed of nervous tissue. So the last one is nervous tissue. What is nervous tissue? That means each tissue is having a specific function. So heart is having one specific function, muscle cells is having one movement. Nervous tissue means those cells which are sending the signals to the brain. The cells of the nervous tissue is highly specialized for being stimulated. They get stimulated and the transmitting to stimulus very rapidly from one place to another. So if they get some signals, if we are touching, it will be getting the signal and it is transferring from one end to another end, and here another nerve will be connecting, another nerve tissue will be connecting, so it will be sending fast and it will be soon reaching the brain. Okay, so this is the function of nervous tissue. The brain, the spinal cord, the nerves are composed of nervous tissue. So in the brain, in the spinal cord, in the nerves, everywhere the nervous tissues are there. Okay, so this is so our chapter tissues is finished, and I hope you guys understanding. If you are having any doubts or any portions, if you are not understanding, means please message me, or you just mention in the comment section. You don't feel any shy for asking the doubts. You can ask and I will be clearing the doubts. Thank you.